What's up, gang? It is I, Carlton Flowers, your crypto pro.
Yay!
And tonight we're going to check out the market and kind of see how items are doing and then share a few updates. So apparently we've got this issue going on while I scroll down to get to the section of the brands. We have this issue going on with the Android app. For the Android users, apparently the VeVe app is no longer in the Google Play Store. And there are two different stories that are floating around. One story says that it was removed due to negative reviews. And then the more official story is something about how the test environment or something won't work in the Google Play Store or something of a test environment. And since it's not working, then they shut it down and they're supposed to be fixing it. I still have not heard anything official on the first rumor, and I'm waiting to find out if there's any truth to that. But at any rate, we're going to jump into the market and check out some of the things that I track very well. I'm kind of in between where I'm thinking, are we at the tail end of distribution, or is it still going on solidly? Because some items are leveled off and other items are dipping, but it's kind of right down the middle, so it's hard to call. I want to think that we have finally arrived at that stable point where everything levels off, but that might not be the case. BMO is one of the ones that I watch. It was down as low as 40. And it has been closer to 50. It was hanging on at 49 for dear life, and then it took a 10 gem drop just here recently. Whereas, I was going to say Ice King is holding very well at 96. And then, sure enough, somebody has broken the 90 barrier with a listing for 87. But then, as you can see, we're going 90. There's a big gap there. Somebody is just desperately trying to sell that item, it looks like. We go 90, 93, 94, 88, 96, and then we're lined up at 100 and above. So we really can't tell if that one is on the slide. Jake the dog, same thing. Desperate sale, perhaps, and either that's a coincidence or maybe this is the start of another slide. But everything above that price is not really that bad. We've been in the 90s and kind of poke it down just below 90 a few times. But with such a gap on that listing, I don't know. I'm thinking somebody's just trying to get rid of an item really quick. And I don't know why, because all we have is a comic drop tomorrow. It's nothing monumental. Now, Lady Rainicorn has been around 500, and it's pretty solid. And take out that bottom listing of 49, and everything is above 500. And, you know, that's a classic Series 1 China market item that is holding strong, that has leveled off. Here we have Lumpy Space Princess. Same thing. We're about to shoot back into the 70s. Either that or we're starting to dive down. And I can't tell. We're going to have to wait and see, because look at these gaps. We've got a $5 gap on both sides, a $6 gap underneath the $65.99, and a $5 gap above. Actually, that's about $6, 6 gems. So it's hard to tell when you see that. And then when we go 71.90, 72.99, 73, and everything is tight, that is a little bit more stable. And so those gaps can be concerning. So we'll just have to watch the birdie and see what happens. Now let's just jump into some of the more important items. Let's just get straight to Todd McFarlane. And we've been jumping around between 5,000 and 5,200. And we were dipping down into 4,800, 4,900. So this one, being a Grail, it's showing that it has leveled off. We're stabilizing. Last several days, it's been stuck at that price. Jim Lee Joker, we were above 700. Now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 listings below 700, as I guess some people have decided to tap into that price. It was down lower. I think we did break below 600 at the low point. So this one might be creeping up. Now, I think, if I'm not mistaken, the Brian Boland Penguin was well above 500. Now we've got our first listing for $499.99, and we'll have to see if that's an indication of a sliding market. Again, look at the gap. from 500 to 520 to 570 to 599. Those are really big gaps. Those are very big gaps. And so that doesn't represent someone trying to undercut the next guy and be first in line. That's more of a desperation. So people are trying to maximize the amount of gems that they can extract, but they want it sold now. And so I don't understand why the desperation if you cannot cash out those gems. Maybe there is a rumor of a big drop coming up around the corner. There's the Darwin Cook back down to 70. We were above 80. And again, there are several listings here. So this one is actually in a down trend. That's on the other side. Now, Bruce Tim Harley Quinn was above 400. Now we've got 3 people listing back below 400. And again, look at the gaps. So this is something I would pay attention to in the next couple of days. Where's the velocity going? Where is the direction with these big gaps? Jay Lee is creeping down a little bit, down to 260. And we've got a couple of 270, then 275, 85, 90 gaps again. All right, let's just take a look at Carmine Infantino Robin, the Grail. And it has been solid at 1,500, coming up from 1,400. So this one is not just leveling off, but it's creeping up a little bit. Now, Dick Sprang Joker, 255. We were at 260. We dropped down as low as 240, and now we're jumping back up. And this 255 was just recently posted up. So I would say that the Dick Sprang is an indication that we have leveled off and working our way back up. Now, Jim Lee is usually around 1,200 gems, and it's at 1,200 gems. And there's, 1, 2, 3 listed at that point, and then several listed at 1,300. So that is stable. Here we go. Becky. I've got a couple Beckys, and the low point was $9.99 a few days ago, and then we were hanging around 1,000. Now we're lined up at 1,100. That's pretty healthy. And that is indicative of a leveling off. That is good news. Now, let's just look at the last 2 and then the new guys. 719 on Joe Madureira. He's actually coming up. We were down into the high 500 range, was it? I think we were at like 589, 599. And he has actually been creeping up. So we've leveled and starting to move up. The new one, Doug Monkey. Where is Doug Monkey? Doug Monkey is at 72, coming down from 80. I need to jump on the iPhone, buy some gems, and pop back in and get another one. I've got 3 and looking for the 4th. The Batman Who Laughs is at 119. We were at 130, and then people are starting to jump the line. There's 2 listed at 119, one at 124.95. I can usually tell, I check prices all day, probably every couple of hours. Anytime I've got a spare moment, I'm looking at prices at all of the items that I track because I want to know what the momentum is and direction, and that way I don't make bad moves when it comes to making purchases. So here we have the Jim Lee Batman. I've got 4 of these off of the drop, coming back down to 59.50 and 59.95 as the low listings, but it's been pretty stable, and that's impressive for a new item on the market. Grandpa coming down to 200. Actually, we were at about 195, and now poking its head back above 200. That's pretty impressive for a new listing. And then the Kenneth Rockefort at 64. We were at 75, and this one has dipped down the most and is only 4 gems above the retail price, but that's fairly stable in my opinion. Let's look at the Back to the Future, the DeLorean Ultra Rare coming down. We were back to 630 gems, and you got a lot of people jumping in here, putting these listings in with gaps in between the prices. So this is continuing the tail end of the distribution. The rare is coming down to 70 gems and 50 cents. And then last but not least, the interactive common. Man, I tell you what, $56.99. This thing is settling down. If we get to 50, I'm going to pick up 4 of these. I've got 26 left, but I might round that back up to 30 if the price does settle in at 50. I would like to do that. It's hard to believe that when the talk was circulating when they announced that drivability was going to come back. What did this thing shoot up to? 150? I felt sorry for all the people that FOMO'd that day and just jumped in head first. You just can't do that in the middle of a distribution phase because after a spike, you know it's going to come back down. You cannot make impulsive moves like that and not end up broke in this game. Let's just look at one more, the DC battle statue, and we'll leave this as a short video. Settled in at 240. I would say that this one has stabilized. On the next report, we will scroll through the rest of the items and look at the ones that are slipping and the ones that are solid and creeping up. But right now, I would say there's nothing to worry about, and I'm feeling pretty comfortable with where we are with the current prices. I only hope that we get this Android issue fixed. One easy way for them to solve this issue is to get the web app up and running. If we had the web app, we wouldn't have to worry about it. And I think that it's probably a high priority for Ecomi to get the web app done because they're going to save on giving up all those fees. When you jump to the Hero app, which I just learned today, you're not supposed to call it HRO. That's kind of was not the intent. It's a play on words using letters to make a new way of spelling out HERO. So it is the Hero app. On the Hero app, if you're on Apple or Android and you try to buy credits or whatever you want to call it, I don't think they have gems, they charge that 30%. So if you want to get like $50 worth to buy stuff in the store, it's going to cost you like $62.50, something like that, which is ridiculous. But the good thing is you can get on the web app and you only have a very slight processing fee. Like for 20 bucks, it would cost you $21 or like $20.90. So we'll have the same thing on the VeVe app, but instead of VeVe taking the hit, the company will be able to put that money into their pocket because we don't have to pay that 30%. We get the full value of the gems that we want to buy, which is pretty cool. Well, that is all I've got for this brief market report. I would love it if you would like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you very much for supporting the channel with your subscription. And I am enjoying all of the great comments. And one other thing, I apologize for the recent short that I posted up. It was a 60-minute short, and I forgot to tap the button to change it from 15 seconds to 30. And you got a 15-second clip ending in the middle of a sentence. Well, I re-uploaded it. It was the announcement about the trouble with the Android app. Let me know if you like my new shorts, where I talk about things instead of just showing things in the market, but I will get back to the flash updates on steals and deals in the market with the shorts. That's all for now. This is Carlton, and I am out.